Oh my God, the finals are finally here. It's been only a week, but it feels like it's been more. Oh my God, it's just been forever, and I'm so excited. These finals are really going to be awesome. And the thing I love most about the finals and the NBA playoffs in general is that I totally understand the appeal of like the football playoffs where it's one game elimination. Like there's something fun about a series and not just boiling it down to who's hot at the right time, but who could sort of prove to be the best team over the course of a 7-game series, who can make the most adjustments, and seeing the chess match and the back and forth of all those adjustments, it's always so fun and so fascinating to watch. In this series, man, it's just gonna be awesome, and there's so many questions to be answered to figure out who's gonna win. The biggest one is probably who's guarding Luka. I think it'll probably start with Jrue Holiday, then a little bit of Jaylen Brown, Tatum maybe come crunch time, Derek White. That's gonna be the biggest thing, but like, there's also just so many other questions, like who's the third best player in the series? If you assume that Doncic and Jason Tatum are going to be 1 and 2, is Jason Tatum, we assume he's probably going to be the second best player in the series, but how much can he close the gap between him and Luka? Because you imagine he smells blood at this point, because there's been a lot of criticism about, oh, maybe he hasn't stepped up necessarily, which is just blatantly untrue. If you go look at just his counting numbers are elite. But you sort of wonder, like, does he recognize that this is like his best opportunity to win a ring? And you also factor in that he struggled in his first finals back in 2022. Does he recognize this moment? Does he try to play up to this moment, having the experience of that finals loss a couple years ago? Does he step up in this moment? That'll be interesting. What does Kristaps Porzingis look like after missing over a month of basketball? Which role players step up? I think the biggest role player X factor might be PJ Washington, because he averaged 17 points on 47% from 3 against OKC, only 12 points on 25% from 3 against Minnesota. Now, obviously, Dallas won both of those series, so he's not necessarily indicative of their success, but still, you have to ask those questions as well. And just like so many more, and you wonder how things are going to change over the course of a series. You wonder which role players are going to step up. Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving, who plays better amongst those two? It's going to be such a great matchup of two teams who 100% deserve to be here. And there's so much star power and so many great storylines, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. And if you ask me who I'm going to pick, I think Luka is probably going to be the best player in the series. And when you have the best player in the series, you're going to have a chance. But I don't know if I could go against Boston. I want to go against Boston. I want to pick Dallas so badly. I don't like picking Boston, but I think it's a combination of, I think they're just way more balanced as an entire unit. I think, again, Luka might be the best player, but I don't think Jason Tatum's going to be so far behind. And then you go down the list of sort of bringing down, okay, our second best player, our third best player, our fourth best player versus your fourth best player, et cetera, et cetera. I think Boston has the edge. Like, I think I trust their other guys so much more, like a Derek White, like a Jrue Holiday, who has been in this position from before, who has won a championship. I think the Porzingis health factor is going to be big, but I do trust that he's going to come back. I think because he's not going to be asked to do too much. This isn't like Kristaps Porzingis in New York or Washington, even Dallas, where, you asked him to score, 20 points and be like a main cog on offense. I think they're definitely going to be able to ease him back into it, and so I think that'll help. And so I just think, you factor all of that in, and I do think it's going to be the Celtics. I think their defense locks in. I think their offense, their big guys step up. I think they get more contributions from more players, again, like a Holiday, like a White, like a Porzingis, like a Horford. And so ultimately, I'm going to pick the Celtics to win this series in 6 games. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope Dallas wins in 7. I don't know. I just want a great finals, and I think that's what we're going to get. And that's all you can really ask for if you're not a fan of either team.